Hi, welcome to the garden today. We're going to do a garden tour, and I'm also going to kind of show you, been doing some cleanup work, and we'll go through as we're going, see that as we're going through the video. Still got Tromboncino squash growing. I know I had one person asked if the vine borers get into it, and yes they do. And if you'll look, you got vine borer here, you got one there, you got one back over there. You know, there's the stem. Like I say, it's in pretty bad shape, but they're still growing. And that tends to be the way they do it. You know, vine borers do hit these things, and they do hit them fairly hard. I mean, even up in here, you're seeing that frass coming out from the borers. But it still produced this big old thing. And they're still producing, they're still putting on some new ones. You know, they've been growing for a while, as you can see, as big as they are. So I'm not really trying to work that much over there. I did go in there and clean out around the peppers. The peppers are making really good. I cleaned out this bed here. This stuff doesn't take long, you know, within the beds. That's what's the nice things about having raised beds. They don't take long to clean out unless you do what I did over here. I did come in with this one with the hand pruners, start pruning all this back. You know, it's supposed to be, you know, blackberries, but most of it is vines and things. You even have a greenbrier growing up in there. So cleaned all this out on this side. I'm gonna have to get on that side, which makes it's a little hard to get to. And then when I came over here, I did cut some stuff down in here. Got the mower in here. This is the big thing that I've done. And I did want to show, okay, mine is a battery operated chainsaw, the lithium battery in it. I do like these. They're lighter than what your gas mowers. They're not as noisy. And you ain't got to worry about the gasoline in them, okay? You do have to have the oil, okay? But I can lift this thing up here and I can cut. Now, when you cut with the chainsaw, you want to try to do all your cutting here down, okay? If you can, this is not a hard cut. That's not a hard cut. That cut up there, it will wear you out, because I had to take the chainsaw and the lemon broke, so I had to come up here and hold it up like that. Now I'm going to tell you, when you're holding the chainsaw up like that, it will tire you out really quickly. When you get tired using the chainsaw, quit. Most of the damage comes, or when you hurt yourself on handling a chainsaw, happens when you get tired. Other thing that you want to do, I have the glasses on. You want to have ear protection, and some people will use gloves. Gloves are really great for when you grab it onto the trunk, or you're having to move the branches around and doing all that. That chain, that glove is not going to stop that chain. And to me, it gives you a false sense of security, thinking that, you know, because I knew a guy that he had a chainsaw and it kicked back on him, and when it did, it hit his hand. And he said he had a glove on. So that glove didn't stop at the thing. And almost cut his hand off. It was during the hurricane, or right after the hurricane. So he had to go to the hospital. He didn't lose anything. He survived. But he said that thing just cut through that glove like butter, because it's having to cut through this stuff. So that glove's not going to slow it down any. So don't think that because you're wearing gloves that you have any protection from that chain. All right. The other thing you want to do if you're using a chainsaw is keep your feet on the ground. Don't be going up there climbing up a tree, even a ladder. You're starting to get, you know, because you can't move. I like to wear shoes like this just because I can move if I need to really quickly with tennis shoes on. But, you know, if you had steel toe boots, I would say, yeah, that might help, because if it hits that steel toe, maybe. But I want to be able to move out of the way. If the limb's starting to fall, the other thing is the limb's starting to fall, and you're holding like this, limb's starting to fall, get rid of the chainsaw. If you break that chainsaw, who cares? Just get rid of it, as long as your wife's not over there. Then that'd be bad. But, you know, don't try to hang on to that chainsaw because you're afraid you're going to break it. Hey, you can get you a new chainsaw, you can't get you a new arm. All right. Kind of show you what all I had to clear out to clear off that little old tree and some other stuff. That's this big pile right here. So I'm gonna have to take this pile here and move it over there, and we'll burn it. So But you know, that took a lot of work, a lot of time, because when you have, you know, high humidity and 90-degree weather, you're only gonna work out here 10 or 15 minutes, you're going back to the house. I don't bring water out with me, because if I get thirsty, I'm gonna go back to the house, I'm gonna get me a drink of water, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna cool down. Maybe 30 minutes later, I come back out and do it again. Around here, you have to wear a cap, because if not, you get sweat in your eyes. But anyway, I have mowed through here. I got some of this there cleaned up. That actually broke. That limb broke when I was cutting the tree down, so I had to clean that up a little bit. I got all this mowed up through here with the lawnmower. I cut all this here back. I had tree here, 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 and here, so I cut it all back just to one stem of the plum tree. And so cleared that out, cleaned all this up around here, cleaned up that. I'm still not sure if I even want that tree there, but so far it has survived. And then down over here we started mowing. Now, there's good and bad things for an electric lawnmower. And I didn't even put that down. The good thing about the electric lawnmower is it's quieter, it's lighter. Again, you don't have to worry about gas going bad on you. You do have to worry about the batteries wearing out eventually. But this is the second year I've had it. And this is the Ego. It's the one that was one of the more high-powered ones. I like it. I tend not to use the self-propel that much. Do you use it much? Yeah. Okay, you use it a lot. I don't use it that much, but I'm in the garden moving around, so it doesn't help me a whole lot. But it's pretty easy. You do have to you push this down first, then you pull that in. If you don't know that, you know, one is here, and that doesn't make sense to me. But then you push that down, then you pull that, and then it starts up. I don't have a battery in it to start it up. But anyway, the bad part about them is the battery does die on you sometimes, which can be good, because if you're out here working and the battery dies, you got to go back to the house, and that way you won't overheat. Again, hot temperature, that battery's going to last about as long as I won't be out here anyway. So I have mowed all this down. I will have to finish this mowing off here and maybe mow some up around there. I had to mow this twice because it got so tall. So I mowed it on number 6 and went back to number 4 and mowed it again. I was gonna mow all this stuff down here, but when I got out there and started walking in the area, there is some cantaloupes out there. And they're the Chantel or whatever, cantaloupes. I've seen 2 of them in amongst the weeds. They're not ready yet. I have a distinct feeling that they're going to split as soon as they start getting ready to ripe. That's what has happened in the past. Did you find it? Yep. There was 2 of them. Don't step in here too much or you step on the vines. Anyway, and that's kind of the problem. I can't check on them too much, because if you step on the vine, then you screwed everything up. So, but they'll change colors. It should be easier. Oh, he's mad because he wants food. But anyway, that's what we got accomplished there. And let's go back over here to look at the other watermelons. I think one of them might be ready, and we'll check to see. Because the first ones that were ready was those over there, I think. So if you'll kind of move up over, or you can stay right there, maybe. It really makes it hard to know where to step, because there's vines all over here. If you step on the vine where watermelon's on, then you'll kill that vine. So let's see. Here on this one. Okay, the vine does appear to be dead on that area. Then I'll pick it up. It really, I think it can stay a little bit longer. I'll check the one beside it. But I do think within a week, well, and there's a bigger one over here. And it's not as far along. Okay. What you look for in a watermelon. You got those little tendrils. You want those tendrils to be all the way dry. Not just getting dry, not approaching dry. And then wait about a week after that. You also want to look on the underside of the watermelon. If it's white on the underside of the watermelon, it's not quite ready yet. It needs to get a little bit yellow. One of them does show some yellow on it, so it might be ready. I may check it in a day or two. And the real way to check it is you cut it open. And I may or may not videotape that because I have got a pretty good record of picking them too early for the first one. For whatever reason, it's like the first one or two you open up, you always pick them too early. But even if they're kind of pinkish looking, they can still be sweeter than some of the ones in the grocery store. Watermelons will ripen after you pick them, so there is that. Some things do, some things don't. Tomatoes will ripen after you pick them. So will watermelons, pears, peaches, plums. Berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, pineapples. Once you pick them, all ripening stops and they start deteriorating. So if you're gonna pick it and say, well, I'll pick it today, I'll let it ripen tomorrow, it's just deteriorating. It's not actually getting any riper, it's not getting any sweeter. But anyway, that's what we got for today. If it don't rain, I'm gonna try to finish mowing that other. Still got some tilling to do, but I won't be doing that today because my tiller is hooked up to I have to hook it up to the generator, and I don't want to bring the generator and the tiller all out here and it start raining on me. We got a 50% chance of rain again today, and it can happen pretty quickly. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.